DOT is coming upon a critical level yet again, just since the last time we shot a video, and I'm about to get another bag. You want to know why? I'll show you. Let's get into this. Okay guys, Carlton Flowers back again, your crypto pro, putting on the reading glasses so I can see the screen and talk about the recent action with DOT. Across the boards, it looks like a lot of red tonight, and all of the chatter has died down to nil. It seems like people get quiet when the market gets red, but that's when I get excited and get prepared to pick up a bag. All right, well, let's talk about the action that has happened since the last update. Get rid of me and let's zoom into the chart and check out the action on the trading view for our chart. All right, first of all, let's talk about where we were last time. We were right within this area. And I was telling you about the fact that the price line was going to poke through this red line right here, which was a previous support turned into resistance. And then it poked through, came back down, and I thought it would become resistance yet again. So that's why I set the target price of somewhere beneath this red line down to the ascending green baseline to buy more Polkadot. All right, so as we can see from this chart, Polkadot, as soon as I added to my bag in the in-between right below that red line, it decided to jump back up instead of coming down to the green line. Because as I had mentioned in that previous video, I was definitely going to jump on this as this green support line has shown itself to hold true ever since the split, keeping the same angle of inclination that it did before the 1-to-100 split took place. All right, so since then, we see that the price has started to come back down again. So here we are touching right there on this red line. I probably need to extend that line just a little bit. Let's just zoom in right here in this area and let's extend this red baseline because we're crawling a little bit beyond it. So let's just take this out here just a tad bit. And now we can see that we have just a little bit of room left before we will know if this is going to become a support or if we're going to bounce through that and come down to the green support line. So whichever way it goes, I think it's pretty safe to say that anything from the current level at $5.06 down to the green baseline would be a good opportunity to pick up another bag. All right, so let's zoom in even further and take it to the 1 hour so we can see what it looks like on the micro. Okay, so we kind of are bouncing up and down along our merry way here, up, down, up, down, up, down. And we've got a green candle forming right here. There's a green doji, which is an indecisive candle. And so if this closes as a doji, I'm thinking that the price is probably going to start heading back towards this ascending baseline. But we can see on the 1 hour, the stochastic is pointing upwards. So we might get a little bit more upward movement before we head down to the baseline. All right, so let's zoom back out and go to the 4 hour and look at all of the other indicators. Here we are on the 4 hour again. And looking at the stochastic, it's looking very, very bearish. So here we are. We've got a definite bearish stochastic happening. Did I spell that right? Why does that look weird? All right, so we got a bearish stochastic, and the velocity of the stochastic is definitely heading downward. So we see that the blue line overtook the red line, the slow line. And it looked like we were going to get across right here and change direction, but no, it decided to go ahead and keep that momentum headed downward. At the same time, we've got some nice, steady support here on the on balance volume. Whenever we see the stochastic going down, yet this on balance volume is trending straight sideways and holding its own. It's kind of a divergence. So right now, the price action matches the stochastic, yet the OBV is holding true. We saw this back here when we had this big dive. We didn't have as much of a dive on the OBV, nothing that we have seen on some of the other alts, most notably on DNT. If you look at DNT, you can see what a dive really looks like. In fact, let's just jump over here so I can show you what that looks like. Let's pull you up DNT and show you what happens when you see a humongous dive. Look at this dive that's happening on the on balance volume at the same time that we have a stochastic dive, and then we have this humongous red volume bar. Okay, so all indications right here pretty much support the same action of downward movement. So that's not too good at all. If the stochastic was down here in the basement, but we still had a nice base here on the OBV, I wouldn't be as concerned. So now compare that to DOT. DOT doesn't look nearly as nasty on the on balance volume. So this is holding strong, which tells me that the overall trend, the overall ascending baseline, it's intact. We're doing good. Okay, so let's take a look at what's happening with the volume profile. Where are we right now in the volume profile? We're right in the middle in a slip zone. So as I've described before, a slip zone is where you see the volume going down. So we've got a peak in volume right here, but then there's a big decline, not much trading volume that's right around the $5 level where we're trading right now. So when we enter those zones, we usually get a quick movement up or down. It could go either way right here. But the next big mass of volume from the volume profile is somewhere around the $4.75 range, which would be below this green line. But the next one above it is around $5.40. So time will only tell as far as where it's going to go from here. I really can't call that. The only thing that I'm going to say that I'm pretty sure about is that with this stochastic pointing down with this steep angle here wide open where the fast line is divergent from the slow line, we're still going to have a little bit of downward movement. Now, what this project has shown us in the past is that when it hits a downtrend, whenever the stochastic dips really far down low, like right here, we usually get pretty good aggressive price movement. But notice how we did not go below that trend line. When you look up here at that last big dip, we start way up here at the top at the all-time high at about $6.20, and then we had this slide, which coincided with the stochastic taking this nice little trip where it poked its head down into the oversold zone for the first time since the split. But it bottomed out right there at the baseline, at the ascending baseline, and it recovered and started moving its way back up. And then since then, we just keep on bouncing along this support line. So that tells me that it is highly probable that once we hit this line again, we're going to keep on moving up, and it could go back to this next clump on the volume profile. Now, don't listen to me because I'm not, what was the guy's name? Nostradamus. I'm not Nostradamus. I can't tell you exactly what's going to happen with the price. I mean, who could do that? If I could do that, I'd be the richest man in the world. It is very possible that we could violate this line somewhere in this area. If it does poke below this line, I think that we could be chasing this clump, this peak at the volume profile, or at worst case scenario, we could be coming back down to this $3 level. But that's only if we violate this trend line. Now, what could cause us to dip below that? It could be Bitcoin. If Bitcoin decides to dump down and chase after that CME gap at 9,600 and then continue to fall in the slip zone, all of the altcoins could follow suit, and then we could see a lot of action down in this clump or down in this clump where price could dip. So I am going to go ahead and just take a bet that we're going to get a bounce in this area, and I'm going to start accumulating from right here and just keep on picking them up until we see what happens next. Okay, so let's zoom back in one more time and take a look at this on the 1 hour chart. Here we go, 1 hour, and let's blow this up. Here we go. All right, so now we can see this big chunk down here a little bit more clearly. And let's scrunch the price down so we see what the choices are. Our choices are going to be dipping down into the slip zone, which if we hit that slip zone, we could come back down to the point of control where currently $4.60, considering the volume since the peak, is the point of control. Or we could gravitate right back up into the thick of this group. And then once again, we could jump back up to either one of these two peaks. It's any man's bet. So we'll just have to see. And whatever the case, I mean, I'm not too worried about it. Who cares if you accumulate down here and pick up a bag at $5 and then it moves up to $6? I'll probably buy more, get 5 here, 10 there. I'm not going to complain because I'm holding this for the long term, because Polkadot is such a great project and solves such a big problem, and it has the potential to be a major competitor and solution to the problem of congestion on the Ethereum network. Now, if Ethereum 2.0 gets completed and it rolls out and is super strong and we don't have congestion and the fees are low, it might not bode well for Polkadot. But if it drags on, and if the problem of congestion is not solved immediately, and if we continue to have other projects that are making a dash to the Polkadot blockchain, we might see this become the next possible Ethereum. We might be looking at a $100, $200, $300 Polkadot in the next year or two. So for the price of a Happy Meal or a Big Mac, $5 here, $5 there. Instead of going through that drive-through and wasting your money, pick up a few bags of Polkadot, and you probably can't lose. So again, this is not financial advice, and don't make a decision based on what you hear here. That's what I meant by that. But you got to risk in order to get the return. And I don't think there's a whole lot of risk here, because in my opinion, blockchain is the future of finance. All right, that's about all I have for tonight on Polkadot. Let me know in the comments below, what do you feel about Polkadot holding this baseline? Do you feel the Polkadot is going to take a dive bomb if BTC goes down, or do you think it's going to continue to hold its own? How many Polkadots do you want to add to your bag? Let me know. We'll see you very soon. Stay tuned. This is Carlton Flowers, your Crypto Pro. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. See ya.